So my name is Andrea James. I'm the founder and executive director of the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. And we founded our organization in a women's prison in the United States. It was a federal prison, and the name of it is the Danbury Federal Prison for Women in Danbury, Connecticut. And we were mostly mothers in the prison, women who had children outside of the prison. I served a 2-year sentence there. I was surrounded by women who had already been there for 24 years, 20 years, 16 years, 17 years. And we decided in that prison in 2010 that we were going to organize ourselves to have better conditions of confinement for women in prison. But our goal that we made in that prison in 2010 was to end the incarceration of women and girls. And we really meant it. We meant it. It's very harmful. The current criminal law system in the United States results in the separation, for the most part, of women from their children when they become incarcerated. And we have a law, a federal law, and a law that is proliferated across the states in the United States called the Adoption Safe Families Act. And the Adoption Safe Families Act did not take into consideration the incarceration of women. So if you are a man or a woman and you are separated from your child for 15 out of 24 months, the state must initiate adoption proceedings, which leads to what we refer to as the stealing of our children. And so that's just one way in which the criminal law system in the United States does not take into consideration also that children should be a mitigating factor, meaning children should be a reason why we pause and look at the totality of the circumstances that is affecting this woman and say, at all costs, we should try and pour resources and support into these families, into these women, into their children, collectively together as a family, as opposed to separating this mother from her children and sending her to prison. We don't do that in our country. We will send a woman to prison. I myself went to prison. My youngest child was only 5 months old. And that's incredibly difficult and challenging. And you disrupt families in ways that too often, they can't recover from. It creates an economic disruption, a family disruption, so all of those reasons why. And the adverse childhood experience that children have being separated from their mom. If you've ever been in a women's prison at 3 o'clock in the morning and heard the stifled cries of a woman who's a mother who would do anything to be able to hold her child and to tell her child, I love you, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get back to you. It is an experience that you will never forget. And so we don't do well in the United States with that. We separate mothers from children all the time. Yes, well, we unapologetically work on behalf of women and girls, unapologetically, and we work to end the incarceration of women and girls. We believe that. We're an abolitionist organization. We're all abolitionists as individuals. We know that we can do better, and at the National Council, we build those models to show what different looks like. Mm-hmm.